Hi guys, welcome back to this week's midweek trio. So I said to you that it'll be different every week. Let's follow on from that MOT video we did not long ago, where you all got involved in a discussion of MOT exemption. Should it be allowed? Should it not? This is my friend's Volvo 244 DL that he's bought. This has a legitimate MOT. And I think we should take a wander around and see just how, why, and I think we will come to the conclusion of it probably shouldn't have an MOT. This is my point, where looking after your car and actually having some just basic like visual skills of a structural car, of why it's very, very important. So I think we should just get stuck into this, have a look round, and then we'll get onto the viewers' questions. But I really wanted to see this car. Number one, I really want one of these. I really want one of these, and I nearly bought this car, and I'm really quite gutted in a way I didn't. But I do think that it's worth seeing, and I do think for food for thought, if you're ever looking at a car, you need to have your wits about you. Let's take the time now to look at some of the finer points of this old car. So it's got a quick release boot lid, but this is where the work has kind of already been started. And if you know the classic minis, you know that we've seen over sills, seen over flitches, over floors. Well, this car has over wheel arches. So here, the sheer weight of this, there's two wheel arches in there, and then look how much filler's there. You see the two wheel arches and all that filler. That was all nestled on here. And you can kind of see all these repairs that were just covering up all of this. Yep, that's your shock absorber. I believe that was a washer that's left. All of that was covering just pure rust. Instead of cutting the rust out, just plated it. Down to here, I think he's got onto the sill, and the sill, to be fair, so far doesn't look too bad, but we'll show you the inside. But just how thick the filler is on this car, and you can kind of see that's no good. So work's already been started. Good friend Jackman's been recreating all of this, and he's basically remanufactured all that, and you can see from that side he's done an excellent job. But this wasn't attached, this back panel wasn't attached to the quarter. Down in here you can kind of see more of the rust. That's that quarter panel going up to the arch. Yes, that's your chassis rail in all its fine glory that you can see. This is obviously new wheel tub. That's going to be going in soon. This side doesn't look too bad, you say. No holes in that, is there? It's an over wheel tub. So there's your original one. Oh dear. So that really nice Volvo mud flap doesn't really have a lot to attach to, and you can see how many repairs it's had with the different paint colours and stuff over the years. So this car, like I say, has a legitimate MOT, and it's quite mad to think that kind of that's the case. Looking down the front of it down here, this wing, albeit not structural, isn't really attached. That's obviously, it needs some love. Oh, lovely, good old Volvo. So inside, the interior has been stripped. Kind of clearly see it looks like it's been a bit damp in there. Down there, all rotted out. Over here, yeah, the seatbelt anchor is that kind of non-existent. Down to the back there, you can see all the arches and all the extra repairs it's had over its life. I'm not too sure where that's come from, but it doesn't look good. And then you can kind of see over there, it's not great. I've worked out what that is now. They're like a little cover that go over the loom, I think. But yeah, beautiful brown interior, really, really nice. And the interior in this car is really nice and clean. Having only done 121,000 miles, barely ran in for a Volvo. But when you just take the time to look under it, you can see that this car should probably not have had an MOT. Let's put it there. It shouldn't have had one, should it? But it has a lot going for it, in the sense that it is quite an early 244. It's got that beautiful front end on it, and the engine, as you've just seen there, after a little bit of an attempt, it does run. and it's got that beautiful round eye that everyone wants, and the original Volvo headlamps as well, which is really cool. But yeah, I wanted to just take your time. If you want to see this car on the channel more, let me know, because I would love to see it on the more. As you can see, the original paint does polish up really nice, but it needs a lot of love. So before we get cracking on with the questions, what do you think? Should this car have had an MOT? I think we're in agreement that it shouldn't have done. But this is my point to you guys. Tax MOT temps are great, keep on top of your car. This car has more filler than metal in most places. And yeah, like I said, I nearly bought this car. But Jackman owns it now, but it's within the Volvo community and the fleet, and it's going to be a beautiful car when it's done. It's so cool, and he has some plans for the engine and stuff like that. So we will keep tabs on this, and we'll keep it on the channel. Let me know if you want to see more on it, if you want me to film bits and pieces of it. He has offered to film some of his work and the bits and pieces he has done, so we could have like regular updates on it. It's a really, really cool car, this. But drop in the comments below and see what you think. This definitely should not have been on the road, should it? And it has a legal MOT. Bad. Right guys, let's get stuck into your questions. So 3 questions making the midweek trio. First question is going to be from Tony Watkinson, good friend. You've seen him in a lot of the videos. Beautiful, beautiful orange Mini. His question was, if I can only own one car in a lifetime, what would it be? So in my eyes, that's a good all-rounder. It's got to be usable in every aspect, and be enjoyable to own, be robust. They're all the things I'd look for if I was to have to decide that. I think you'll probably know what I'm going to say. It's got to be the Volvo 940 Vera. It's got to be. If you only had to have one car to last you a lifetime, and for that to be your car, it makes a good sound, it's usable, it tows, it's comfortable, it's safe, it's robust. You don't need anything else. So that would be my car, Tony. We will see Tony and Sam in the future videos when we start cracking on with the 89 build. So thank you very much for that question, buddy. Next question is from Bert's Retro Rides. Now he actually has his own YouTube channel where he's doing his Mini Clubman estate. I don't think he's uploaded recently, but some really good content out there on his Mini Clubman estate. His question, is another food related one, is what is your favourite cheese? Favourite cheese, gotta be a mature cheddar. I'm a bit boring like that. I do quite like a nice chilli one. With like little chili chunks in it, it's quite nice. But it depends what you're having it with. But if I have to pick one, definitely a mature cheddar. Thank you very much for your question, buddy. And yeah, hopefully we see some updates on your club and estate very soon. And the last question is from Nick at Gimme Fuel Garage. So he has a really, really good YouTube channel, and he has some really lovely classic minis on there. So I will put his name on here now. Please go check his channel out. It's really, really nice content, and a cracking guy. We met for the first time after talking for many years at Bingley Hall, and he's a really nice bloke. So his question is car history, warts and all. So mainly classic minis. I think I'm probably into the mid to high teens of classic minis I've owned, and that covers Club and Estates, Club and Saloon, a lot of what you've seen on the channel. So before the channel I've owned quite a few minis prior to that, like a Cooper SPI, Mini 1100 Special, my first car, Mini Racing Green. I could go on and on and on, but I've owned quite a few minis. Some of which made it on the road, some didn't. Traded amongst friends, it's one of them. Warts and all, I've had some shockers over the years, I'm not gonna lie. I like to dip my toes in other car scenes and other brands and just experiment what's out there. More so recently with the channel, I feel a lot more motivated to do that. But I have had some boring cars, that being included a kind of bronzy coloured Vauxhall Corsa 2006. I paid a lot of money for that car and actually got taken back by Vauxhall through the amount of recalls it had. It wasn't really fit for sale, so I didn't have that very long, probably about a month. Then I bought an R50 Mini, a black one. Loved that car. I really liked the R50 Mini. Anyone knows me personally knows I really like that car. And then I had a Y-Reg one quite a few years after that, so I've had 2 of them. I've owned Volvos, so obviously got Vera the 940. I've had a V70 D5 2003, so the P2 Phase 2 V70. Love that car, really loved it. It was black and it looked like an unmarked police car. Going down the motorway, it was quite a fun car to own. Really, really good on MPG and a lovely, comfortable barge car to drive. Missed that car, but it got written off. Yes, it got written off. To be fair, it was still a drivable car, but the cost of fixing it just wasn't there for it, unfortunately. What else have I had? Like mentioned, got the T2 here, but I've had a T4. Probably one of the worst vehicles I've owned for reliability wise, but I really love the idea of what it could bring, and that is why I've kind of got this. That wasn't the best. What else have I had that's not? MGZR 2003, 3-door grey hatchback. Great car, but I ended up gluing most of the dashboard back together because it kept breaking. So that was one of them. That wasn't one of the best moments. I've had another kind of bronze champagne coloured Volkswagen Golf Mark IV Estate. So John Daly will love that one. Great car, nothing wrong with that to be fair, absolutely lovely, but I couldn't own both at the same time, so I had to sell it to buy the T4, which was a bad mistake, evidently. That's probably most of them. I own a few classic minis which have been a bit dud ones, a bit rubbish really, but I always see them as projects really more than anything else. What else have I had? Volkswagen B5 Passat. Bought beginning of the lockdown, had it on the MOT extension for 18 months, and it was a great car, but it got scrapped. But the money I bought it for, 450, sold the roof rack for 50, so it owed me £400, and I scrapped it, I think for £185, but I had 18 months short free motoring, so good car really. It had an ECU fault, basically a common fault. The ECU was swimming, it came up immediate engine failure and just died. It ran for a very short period of time, but then unfortunately that went. But yeah, so I've owned some shockers, let's put it that way, but some good cars as well, some really good cars, and it's taught me a lot throughout the way to get to where I am now. Right, that's the 3 questions. Remember, please comment away with some questions for me for next week. We'll get them answered. I hope you enjoyed the beginning part of this video. It kind of a nice follow on from what we had before with the MOT exemption side of things. That car was bought with a legitimate, valid MOT, and until my friend Jackman started tackling it, we just did not realise how bad it was, and it just shows you how bad and how well people can cover things up. So remember to subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. Like I mentioned, comment in the description below, and yeah, please go check out both our sponsors. We've got Minimine and Frost. There's a discount code for Minimine on the screen now, and there's a discount code for Frost in the description below. While you're down there, I've got some merch for sale on my eBay site, and you can go check that out and buy some of them bits if you want. If not, like I say, a comment's welcome. Catch you next one.